Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching In Depth
on Now You Know. All right, so welcome everybody. We're in a new spot in the studio here.
Yeah.
We want to keep this set up every week. We've been doing it on the couch for quite a while.
Better for the back.
Yes, real chairs. Real chairs. It's a nice improvement.
We're moving up. So this week we are covering a story that we read about out of Montreal. Mm-hmm. So last March in Montreal, there was a big snowstorm on March 15th, and 3 men throughout the city died, unfortunately.
Serial killer.
No, you would think so. It's ice killer.
What, is it the ice that killed them, or was it a car that killed them?
Both.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
You're intrigued, aren't you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pitch this to the networks. So basically,
it'll be a new episode of Sherlock.
Right.
Okay.
How was it done?
Yep.
So these 3 men had been shoveling out their cars, and then got back in their cars probably to warm up. Mm-hmm. These were ICE cars, internal combustion engine cars, so they burn gasoline. And one of the byproducts of burning gasoline is
CO2.
CO2
and CO no 2. So
right.
Carbon monoxide. So not carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide.
So these 3 men died from carbon monoxide poisoning. We know this because the toxicology results showed that they died of carbon monoxide poisoning, and that is from Paul G. Dion, who is the coroner in Montreal. Now, it took a while to figure this out, I think because when they first found the men, the cars were off because they had run out of fuel, and so therefore they just found them off. But the keys were in the on position.
I see. So all 3 men died, and it looked like it could have been a heart attack.
Right, because after you've been shoveling, if you're not in the best of conditions or whatever, you could, heart attack is one of those. And so people probably just said, oh my gosh, died of a heart attack.
Right.
Turns out they died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Wow.
So we dug a little deeper because this was shocking enough that 3 men on the same day died of this across the city. We dug deeper and found that hundreds of Americans die every year of accidental carbon monoxide poisoning. Mm-hmm. Now, there's not just accidental. There's also intentional.
Right.
And there's not just cars, there are homes.
Yep.
So every year there's over 1,000 people that die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Mm-hmm. 57% of those are caused by being in stationary automobiles.
Wow.
So I thought it would be a higher number that would be like in homes from like heaters and stuff. But no, most people are from being in their car or from the car being in the garage. So we want to point this out because this is something that I think if this happened with electric cars, if you could, say, get in your electric car after shoveling and then hundreds of people in America would die every year of this,
right?
Do you think that it would be plastered on every media outlet in America?
Right. If even one person sat in a stationary electric vehicle and died because of the car, I think that would be news. People would care about that.
And I think it would almost kill the electric car industry if something like that happened. Because, just one death caused a big enough stir. You remember this story that happened a couple of years ago with Tesla and Autopilot. And just one death was just covered nonstop by the media. The car kills a person.
Right.
When in fact it wasn't just the car, it was the fact that he wasn't driving it properly.
Right. So if you own an electric car, let's just be clear here. If you own an electric car, you will not die from carbon monoxide poisoning from your car. You can sit in your car all day long in your garage, the door is closed, the windows closed, everything completely sealed off. You can be in there, you can be blasting the AC, you could be doing donuts in there for all we care, and you would not die.
We have heard multiple stories, in fact, when we've gone to car shows, of people who drive electric cars, Teslas, Leafs, whatever, and their kids kind of grow up with these electric cars, and then when it's their turn to start driving, maybe they drive the old family beater, which is like an old ice car, and they do something that they've seen their parents do, which is sit in the garage with the car on, reading a book or checking the news, and they try and do it in their ice car. What's the problem with that?
That they could die. So one of the parents runs into the garage and it's like, "What are you doing?" And the kids are like, "What?
I've seen you do it a million times."
Now, and I don't even think that this is limited to electric car owning families. I think that, we only talk to electric car owning families when we're at these events, but I think that it's a way more common thing than you might think.
Right, because you might warm up your car in the garage on a cold day, let it warm up, you go in there and you kind of forget that there's carbon monoxide probably in there, and then you start reading a paper or, checking your phone or whatever. And then what's the problem with carbon monoxide? It's odorless.
Right.
And it knocks you out.
Right. And it's invisible.
It's invisible. So you've been knocked out, you get sleepy, you fall asleep, and then no one's there to save you, and you die.
And I mean, this can happen. I mean, again, there's so many scenarios where, you come in after a night out with all your buddies and you start talking, and, there's that one guy who just won't shut up, and you keep talking and talking, and, maybe you're having a nice conversation, but after a while you all kind of get sleepy, and if you aren't careful,
well, that's true. It can happen. Right. It can happen to a whole room full of people.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, we want to point this out because it is winter right now. A lot of people are still out there shoveling, and the Montreal Children's Hospital issued a warning last month never to leave children in idling cars while snow shoveling. But that's another thing you might do. You might be like, kids, stay warm in the car. Mommy and daddy is going to go shovel out. And what could happen? You could easily have a serious issue.
Right. And the snow has a lot to do with this because it sort of traps a lot of the emissions of your vehicle around your vehicle. Obviously, if you were on a windy street or something, the carbon monoxide would get carried away and sort of swept into the air and diffused, and then it's a bit safer. There's all sorts of scenarios where maybe you're waiting for the bus and you have to sort of back into a snowbank or something while you're waiting for your children to go to school, and all of a sudden, you get sleepy, and that's scary.
So to wrap up, electric cars don't do this. They don't kill hundreds of people every year, sadly, for no apparent reason. And if they did, we would never hear the end of it. In fact, that would probably be enough to kill electric cars.
Right. And it's pretty sad that it's 2018 and we still have this basically, we looked at a graph, and the same number of accidental deaths by carbon monoxide poisoning from cars.
Every year.
Every year. And it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's just a constant death. I mean, that's terrible.
Right. And it's avoidable.
And it's so avoidable, A, by being careful, but B, electric cars. When the electric car thing happens and everyone has an electric car, and, some guy still has some, Pontiac or something in his garage, people are going to be like, that's a safety hazard to have that in your garage. And he's going to be like, no, it snows, it's like, but yeah, if he ran it in his garage for too long, careful.
Right.
So thank you so much for watching this episode of In Depth. We hope that you enjoyed it. We do this every single week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you want, you can hit the like button, and that tells YouTube that you liked it.
We don't tell people enough to share our videos.
That's true. If you know someone who lives in a snowy place, and
yeah, because most of the deaths take place in the northern states.
Right.
Just in snowy climates.
Right. If you know someone in one of the snowy states, maybe share this video with them, especially if they drive an internal combustion engine car. But hey, if they drive electric cars, A, more power to them, and B, they might be interested in what we talk about. So thank you so much for watching.
Now you know.